Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And do you like to get price gouged? I don't think anybody does. Sony is being sued for over 5.9 billion US dollars, which over in the UK. So there's a lawsuit, which is kind of weird, this lawsuit anyway. I'll kind of just state what they're basically saying. So Sony is being sued over the price of its online PlayStation Store prices. The plaintiffs over there are claiming Sony is overcharging the consumers and abusing its position as the primary seller of PlayStation games digitally. I don't know what they mean by primary. They are the only seller of digital games. Maybe it's different over in the UK. I don't think it is, but it could be where they have some other option. But here in the US, we have no option if you're buying a digital PlayStation game than from the PlayStation Store. So they're basically saying that the Sony's overcharging. So a consumer rights advocate, Alex Neal, the ex-managing director of a nonprofit consumer advice organization, is leading a legal action and said the game is up for Sony PlayStation. The game is up. Instead of the gig is up, the game is up for Sony. The lawsuit filed with the Competitive Appeal Tribunal on August 19th states that consumers have been overcharged for digital purchases of games and DLC, as Sony is charging a 30% commission. So basically, they're saying that people are getting ripped off. They're getting ripped off all over in the U.S. because of Sony's anti-consumerism. I mean, this is just another foot in the backside for them because of it, or shows proof of it, in my opinion, because they just had a lawsuit that was overturned here, basically in the U.S., an anti-competitive acts lawsuit in July that was dismissed because people were saying that Sony sells copies, that Sony is the only reseller of digital copies of games on the PlayStation Store and had unlawful monopolization in the market. And now that was thrown out, and now we have this this lawsuit over in the UK, basically saying the same thing, really. I mean, it is a monopoly, but they're not calling it a monopoly. They're just saying it being overcharged, which, you know, they're not the only person in the market charging developers 30% to list their product and sell it on the market. So Xbox does it. Everybody does it. You know, Steam's doing it. Epic's doing it. You know, we all saw the whole everybody will air their dirty laundry when the Epic and Apple lawsuit was out there, you know. So basically, the crux of the lawsuit is that the seller of digital PlayStation products is a Sony only. And it's in a position to overcharge for its item, which they are. They decide if something goes on sale, and if it doesn't, and, you know, I wonder if some stuff will come out in the works where the only way it goes on sale is if the developer decides to lower it on their side, and Sony keeps their 30% commission. If that's the truth, if that does come out to wash, then you'll see just how bad Sony is about saying we want our 30% and nothing less. So it's in my opinion, it's an anti-competitive strategy, and the U.S. court didn't think that the people who brought the lawsuit to them had enough merit behind it, but maybe this UK team will have better luck. And if they do, hopefully somebody in the U.S. goes after them, because I want some money back. I won in this class action lawsuit because they overcharge. They're Nintendo. Nintendo overcharges for everything that they have, but Nintendo sells all their stuff digitally and in the store. And can you still buy digital? Can you buy digital game money from Nintendo from other places besides Nintendo? I think you can.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know, there's nothing there for them. I mean, everybody knows Nintendo just never lowers their price, but retailers can say, hey, I want to put this game on sale because I bought it 5 years ago or 4 years ago and it ain't selling off my shelf and I just need to get rid of it. But with digital games, you're at the mercy of whoever's selling them. And if they're the only person selling them, then good luck with that sale ever happening. You know, so hopefully, I hope that this UK team wins. That's my opinion. But Nick, what do you think, man? What do you think about this lawsuit where they're suing them for over 5.9 billion US dollars or 5 billion pounds?
Yeah, I hope they win. I think, right? I mean, I think you might have talked about it, but the Epic and Apple, you know, kind of went through this similar thing. But yeah, I mean, this is basically a near monopoly on the market, you know, and like you said, we talked about it before with the US one about the court, you know, the case that got dismissed. But, you know, and a lot of people really look into a lot of gamers and stuff, but and I think the last time we talked, it was the first time I realized, oh yeah, you're right. Like you can't buy digital versions of games for PlayStation. It's only through their storefront, which does put a monopoly on that, right? And people might argue, well, just buy the disc version, but they sell a discless version of the console, which means that you are stuck to only buying from their store, which is very anti-consumer and basically a monopoly on their products on their store, right? I mean, you can only buy it from there and that's it. You don't have any other choices. So I hope they win here. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if they do, though, because we've seen this stuff happen before. I mean, granted, this is in the UK, so it might work out a little bit differently. But here in the US, when this stuff happens, the US is all about corporations. So whatever they want to do is perfectly fine with us. The UK might have a different outlook on that. I'm not quite sure. But, hopefully, Sony's been doing a lot of anti-consumer stuff. So hopefully this will be I'm hoping that Sony's ship gets righted, and they start to go more into learning that they can't quite, that people aren't, the consumer is not going to take getting rolled over the coals all the time, right? And getting shafted all the time, and that they're going to have to make a change in what they're doing. Hopefully they'll win this, and that will shine a spotlight on these types of acts from different markets, right? From different developers out there. Epic had this same thing, along with Apple and, or the Apple versus Epic court system and other, I'm trying to think, like, didn't Facebook or something like that, or maybe it was, I can't remember who it was, but it had something similar to this before. But regardless is, yeah, I mean, this is hurting consumers in the UK, right? It's hurting, and it's hurting consumers here too, because we have the same problem. Bring that class action lawsuit here. The one that got dismissed here was dismissed for a stupid reason. It was dismissed because they couldn't prove it or something like that. I can't remember. But it can be easily proven. You just go to the market and you just go and take a look out on the market, and you can definitely tell, right? Or is something like, well, they're doing this, but is it really hurting you, or something to that effect? It was just a stupid outcome.
Yeah, they were unable to prove in the time that they were allotted that Sony was violating the Sherman Act, which is our antitrust laws in the U.S. So basically, the judge told them refile with more information. But in my opinion, the judge must be blind, or he's a Sony pony, because you can only buy the game in one place. That to me is as clear as day to be seen that if I bought the PS4 digital, I can't buy my game anywhere else.
Right, exactly. You can't go on to Best Buy or Target or Walmart or whatever and buy a digital version of that game. Because Sony, much like Nintendo, I mean, Sony does do a sale every week, but, they're not always is it full of their high tiered or most sought after titles. So, when you have this competition out on the market where you can go buy, I don't know, God of War from Sony for 100 or for $50, but then you could go buy it from Walmart for $30, the digital version of it, then, that breeds competition, and that breeds competition for Sony to go, okay, we need to mark ours down as well, right? Mark it down a little bit lower. Maybe we go to 35 or something. We could probably get a little bit more because we're the Sony storefront. Sure, we can charge a little bit extra than
More
Walmart.
Convenience, right? You don't got to get out of your chair and go to Walmart.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a digital purchase. So if you purchase the digital version off of Walmart, you're just going to get a code in your email. But yeah, I mean, you're already on the PlayStation. Go ahead and spend an extra $5, right? But in this case, it's Sony just getting the money regardless, right? There is no competition out there for their storefront. So, I think that's one thing that's kind of helped with Steam, as far as Epic coming along, right? Epic's kind of put that competition on Steam. And so now Steam and Epic are kind of competing, and it's great for us gamers, right? Epic throws out free games all the time, and they do some really awesome sales, with the coupon that they have and everything like that. And Steam is just continuing on with their sales, but I think I see more bundled it feels like there's more bundled games and kind of lower prices on a lot of those things that are also discounted on Epic, right? So they're trying to compete now. Whereas Steam didn't really have much to compete with. They had other storefronts that tried to come in but couldn't really take off. And Epic, even though we weren't sure what was going to happen, Epic's kind of taken off, right? It's become, besides them and Steam, it's become the two storefronts on the PC that I think a majority of people probably have installed and probably use. And I think for Epic, what's really helped them was the free games that they still give out, right? I think that's really what propelled them to be a competitive marketplace. But as far as Sony goes, yeah, they're doing wrong. You know, Sony's doing a lot of anti-consumer stuff, and this is just part of it.
Yeah, it is weird, and anybody who blindly follows one console or the other just because you're a fan, whether that's an Xbox or a Sony pony, or I don't even know what they call the Nintendo fanboys, you know, but anybody that blindly follows a console because of some perceived loyalty, they don't have the same loyalty to you. So why do you have this unaltered or unabating, you know, love and loyalty to them? I have no clue why. If Xbox did this, I'd be calling Xbox a bunch of dumbasses, you know, but Sony is doing this, so they're the ones getting called out. And it's nothing against me hating Sony, because I like Sony. I will admit Sony has some of the best first-party games out there. I own a Sony. I own all this, but it's just so anti-consumerism when you say, I will not allow another retailer to sell, whether it's, you know, PlayStation money or PlayStation digital codes. I will not allow any of them to do that. To me, just boggles the mind, because you could sell, I mean, because I guarantee you, like Xbox and stuff like that and Nintendo that sells these game cards with currency or whatever, goes out to Walmart, Target, all these big box store and says, you want some, you pay for them up front. And so they're like, cool, give me 1,000 of them or 50,000 or 100,000. Microsoft just made money. If Walmart or Target doesn't sell all them, Xbox doesn't care. Sony should be the same way. They don't care. We're selling these digital currency, digital items. You know, they're probably not paying. They're not paying $50 for Xbox $50 cash. They're paying whatever the markup is, and they're making their markup, whether it's 10, 20, 30, 40% markup, whatever it is. They're making that money when they sell something. So I guess Sony doesn't like having other people dip into some of their profits, right? Because if I bought a $50 game Sony currency card from Walmart and Walmart paid, 60 points on it, it's they're not getting their full 100% and they're not making their profit. So if I bought a game with that money would probably come out of their percentage and not the developer's percentage, which is the way that Sony probably thinks about this. But I'm sorry, it's the wrong way to think, because it's anti-consumerism. I do have a huge problem. I still think 30% is kind of high to charge developers for put your game on their platform. I know Microsoft does it. I know Nintendo does it. I know Steam and Epic, they all do it. And Apple, and all the stuff has come out with the Apple the Apple lawsuit between them and Epic. So we all know everybody's doing it. I still think it's really high, and it's garbage and it's horrible. That more of that money should be going to the developers, and you guys should be happy making your 10 or 20% markup, not 30%. I think 10% is more reasonable. You have the digital storefront, but the developers put all the time and money and effort into making the game, and the publishers are the ones publishing it, or out there hawking it to the masses and trying to get people to buy it. And all you're doing is giving it a little home, digital shelf space, if you will. So you guys should just suck it and give the developers their fair share and stop trying to milk everybody for what it is. But I really hope the UK succeeds in their lawsuit, and I hope those people that sign up get a fat check, and hopefully Sony feels the sting of it, because this is very wrong, in my opinion.
Agreed. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen from this. It's just starting. It'll probably be a year or two before we find out where they end up. So who knows what's going to happen, but I do think that Sony is hurting their consumers by this move, and we've said it before. They're hurting their consumers. All of them out there, Microsoft, Steam, Sony, Epic, all of them are hurting their developers by charging them 30%. And that's why game sales are going up. I mean, when EA, as much as we hate EA's like, hey, I want to put my game out there and they're going to charge me 30%. So they're getting 70%. They're getting 70% of that money when they put that thing out on the digital market. So they're getting 70% of that. So it's a $70 game. They're getting 70% of that. And whoever's selling it's getting the other 30%. That's horrible, right? I mean, if they were only getting 10%, imagine how much cheaper the game would be. EA would probably still be dirtbag EA and trying to raise it to $70, but it'd be more on EA being the huge dirtbag than these other digital marketplace providers out there, in my opinion. But it's been going on for years under the covers, and I'm surprised it took this long before it became mainstream news that they're taking 30%. I mean, there's not very many companies where you can get 30% margin pretty regularly out there anymore. But by God, Sony, Microsoft, Steam, Epic, all of them, Apple, all of them are getting it. So, and Google as well. This is just a little bit infuriating of a topic, really.
For sure. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm sure if it's like the U.S. market, it'll just get thrown out. But, hopefully not. Hopefully they will do something about it, and hopefully that'll be an eye opener for Sony and for other companies doing this similar actions.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere, and I was trying to find it while we were talking about this, but I couldn't find where they were saying what the plaintiffs could potentially make. But basically, it was the cost of a brand new video game. So if you sign up and you're part of this, you could potentially be buying another video game courtesy of Uncle Sony. So if you're in the UK. If you're in the UK, hopefully you signed up and are part of that class action lawsuit so you can get a video game on Sony in the future.
Thanks, Uncle Sony.
They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. Their grandma's, your aunt's over there smacking him on the back because he was pulling out the penny. He's trying to give you a quarter instead of some more real money. It's the stingy uncle. The aunt's smacking him on the back of the head by giving him some more. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this except for it's dead wrong. Nick, do you have anything else you want to say on this one before we cheer this lawsuit on?
Nope. Let's see it happen. Let's see it go down and not get thrown away.
Yep. All right, UK. You got to do it where the US couldn't do it. Slap it to Sony hard. So let us know what you think down in the comments. Are you a Sony only fan? Are you one of those people? Let us know what you think about this lawsuit. Do you think what Sony's doing is right? I really want to know from those people who are diehards and don't want to do any other console but that. Tell me, what do you think? Like, do you think this is wrong? And if you don't think it's wrong, why do you not think it's wrong that they control the only place you can buy a game from? So they control when it goes on sale and all that kind of stuff. Let me know. Maybe I'm missing something. I doubt it, but you never know. And if you've made it this far, why not subscribe if you're not subscribed already? And don't forget to hit that bell for notifications so you get updates when we post new videos, which we do multiple videos every week. And I hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to catch you in the next one.